What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Welcome everybody to the awakening world and a very special edition that we're going to have tonight, so welcome. I want to thank all the people that are in our Zoom room. We opened up the Zoom room a few minutes ago, half an hour ago, and we've been connecting. And I want to welcome all of you watching on Facebook and YouTube. A big thank you to Jon and Summer Ramer and the Sign Network that gets us out to sometimes as many as 100 Facebook groups and pages. And of course, a lot of you are watching on Unify, and we really appreciate our friends on Unify. So let us know where you are geographically. It's really fun, especially on Unify. We have people from all over the world watching the Awakening World. And for any of you that are new, the Awakening World has been coming to you 3 times a week, every weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning, sharing inspirational speakers, musical artists, presenters, as we talk about what it's going to take for us to all wake up and recognizing that we all are awakening in our own unique ways, individually and hopefully, and I believe, humanity as a consciousness. Tonight's show is kind of a turning point show. Oh, great, Gary Malkin just joined us. How wonderful. It's the end of spring, the beginning of summer. It's the end of World Unity Week, which many of us have been actively participating in all week long. It's the end of our spring season of the Awakening World. And as we enter the summer, I'm going to be taking some time off. So we're not going to be doing 3 shows every weekend during July. But we'll continue to do something fun. And then we'll come back. And in the next couple of weeks, I'll decide what we're going to be doing on a regular basis. So tonight, we're going to look back with love on some of the past speakers, presenters, moments of the Awakening World, and even Saturday Night Live. But we're also going to chat with Gary Malkin and Jon Ramer and Becky Suzik, who have all been a big part of the Awakening World, and more recently, a big part of World Unity Week. And they're going to be sharing some of their thoughts about what an awakening world looks like, what this all really means. Now, for those of you who watch us on Saturday nights, you know that we always like to start with music. We always like to start with a strong musical dynamic, because it's Saturday night. And we are definitely going to drop into wisdom, hear what Gary has to say and other people have to say. But we're also going to have some music. And so I'm going to start us off with one of our favorite musical artists, the wonderful Cornflower. We love Cornflower. He's one of our favorite musical artists. And this is a dance jam that he did actually for Saturday Night Live back in October. So let's get up, let's dance, let's move, and enjoy beloved brother Cornflower.
And I'm beaming in live from Northeast Tennessee. And the song I've got for you is With All Things. So here we go.
Flashlight again. Oh, go ahead.
With all things I am one. 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 With all things I am door is open wide. Open up and dive deep inside. With all things, come on. I am. Can you feel it? With all things, I am. With all things, I am. With all things, I
Scott, you're muted.
There I am giving all this one. Welcome, Reverend Deborah. Great to see you rocking out to our beloved brother Cornflower.
What a wonderful start. This is going to be such a great show this evening.
Thank you. It's great to have you with us. It's great to have everybody with us. Gary Malkin, Becky Suzik, and Jon Ramer are all here now. And you know, it really is such a beautiful family. I'm going to bring everybody on board for a minute. Because whether we call it the Global Peace Tribe, whether we call it World Unity Week, whether we call it Evolutionary Leaders, we all are coming together and we are providing information to each other And we're also inspiring each other. And obviously, Cornflower's music is so inspiring. And that message, with all things, we are one. And isn't that kind of the ongoing message of our time? So we have
The
been.
whole time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want
The
to.
whole movement rocks. The whole movement, man. I love the name.
Yeah. So I want to give each of you a moment just to share, because we've all been gathering, and I'm imagining many of our viewers have been watching on World Unity Week. And for those of you either in the Zoom room or watching on Facebook, put in the chat box if you were watching World Unity Week and what stood out for you on World Unity Week. And I'd love to turn it over to Becky or John, Gary, or Deb. Anything you want to share that really stood out for you? All right, Becky, take it away.
I think things going to keep standing out just like the stars for the next year as we continue to reflect. I mean, we're still World Unity Week begins before World Unity Week, and then it just continues. And it's even more exciting, I think, this year because we're beginning. Today is the 92nd day of the countdown is on for the 99 days of peace through unity. And so, just thinking and feeling about the past week as it's still coming to a close, there just was so much love and support among our communities, across so many communities, but within our community. And just seeing how so many people stepped up and contributed their ideas, their energy, their presence to be on Team Up to bring forth World Unity Week. It was such an incredible collaboration, and just the inspiration that we all get from each other really is the biggest standout to me right now. Thank you, Scott. Excited to be here. John.
I know, my gosh. We're actually learning how to do these mass collaborations. So if you weren't there, you're probably wondering, why are these people so buzzed? Why are they so happy? What are they drinking? But we just had 22, 23 convergence rooms full of brilliant people stewarding and working with event hosts and we call presenters, right? There was, I don't know how many presentations, but it was incredible. And here, maybe can I show just quickly what One World looks like? Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, this is what One World looks like. Can you see my screen? Because I've had so many windows open.
Yes.
All right. So you can mouse over One World. It's on worldunityweek.org. We call this One World. But if I click here, say what's in this sacred giving tree, we have these things we call convergence rooms. So did it show that? Make sure I'm not talking without
Yes,
it.
we are seeing.
All right, I know. So each room has stewards. Ben Bowler and Irina stewarded the room one. I'll just show you one room, but there, if you can see, there's all sorts of amazing rooms, offerings coming from event hosts, presenters working with these stewards. So here, if I click on the room schedule, do you see now a page that says room one?
Yes.
And the plenaries and everything, but look at this. No upcoming events because we've gone through them all.
Just
If you go down here, all the past events. I mean, so many. I mean, Scott, you and, Vandana Shiva, and the list goes on. And every one of these opportunities, there's recordings for these things now. But more importantly than really what we just did is what we can do now. We've demonstrated. We can discover each other and get out of the silos. We are in a canoe paddling together. Each of these synergy projects, like what's happening, teaming up to build the House of Hope. I mean, the list goes on. I kept naming, I said, now that's what Peace Through Unity looks like. The global Minga happening for peace and service. I mean, stories that are really just compelling and are telling us now in this new medium, we can really connect. So mass collaboration has taken a big leap forward. This is our third year. And I say, hey, we just proved to ourselves that we can actually make this work. It took a lot of effort, people learning things like Trello and Weaver and, going through the Zoom and all those challenges. Oh, there's my brother. Okay.
Yeah, there he is. There's the man.
Thank
I
God
don't want
for
to interrupt your flow.
Thank God for you, the earth. I mean, it's this alliance that we're forming and building together. We're learning how to balance our own individual needs with the needs of our own commons, our community. So I called it going from pitching to pooling. We're not just waiting for a moment to say, hey, here's my thing, come do my thing. We're all trying to say, let's create a space big enough for all of our things to be known and appreciated and for us to rise together. That's what World Unity Week's about. That's what this next 91 days is about as we prepare for our next massive convergence in Peace Week in September. I love you, Ben Bowler. You are the most articulate, graceful, honest, hardworking partner. I couldn't climb a mountain without you. I wouldn't dare. You, Becky, me, and Arena were the core, and it really just happened. I'm still a little bit in shock, frankly, and tired. This is a good tired. I'm feeling that kind of good tired. You feel like you've really left it all on the field, like people say, feeling. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, John. Ben, I'm putting the full spotlight on you. How are you feeling right now? You've just completed this amazing week-long event that you put together. How do you feel?
That we all put together. Yeah, walking on air, Scott. I think just connecting to what John was saying, we just had a beautiful continuation ceremony. And Scott, I know you were there for nearly all of it, even though it was getting close to showtime here on the Awakening World. I'm feeling great. I feel the same kind of exhaustion that John was talking about, but it's a very happy, very content, and a very resolved kind of feeling, because we, unlike last year and the year before, we haven't just kind of fallen across the line in a heap, but we're actually laid the foundation for what comes next. And when I say we, I really mean all of us. And the reason I came on here, I just wanted to acknowledge you, Scott, and Deborah and Debbie and everybody, because we got going at the same time as you in the early spring, summer of 2020, when the world got locked down, and you got the vision for what you were doing with Saturday Night Alive. Jim Garrison and the team at Ubiquity started going with Humanity Rising about the same time, and we started dreaming up World Unity Week. So there's something about this partnership, this family, this connection, and where we're going from here. And I know you're going through a process of reinventing, what's it going to look like for the period ahead. And I think we all are, and that's the beautiful thing. And there's these 99 days with 91 days remaining, which is 13 weeks exactly. And, it's collective. What can we do together in the next 13 weeks? So as the Awakening World is a media partner for World Unity Week this year, Scott, I just wanted to thank you and thank the team for your partnership, because it makes a huge difference when all of us come together and support each other, like you model and John models and Becky models and Gary and all the incredible people here. What could stop us? What could possibly stop us? So I'm really feeling a great sense of exhilaration, enthusiasm, determination, and joy, and exhaustion all at the same time. And it's great to be here with you. I love you too, John, and I love you, Becky and Gary and Deborah Moldo and everybody that's here. And Scott, you brother, I hope you're feeling better than I know you've been through a bit of a healing journey. But I just wanted to pop in here and just add my voice of gratitude and love to the Awakening World tonight. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ben. We're going to go to Gary Malkin in a moment, but Ben, just before you go, and I know you got kids waiting, tell us how does this move forward? What do we do next? Because we are in, I guess, 91 days left, all going to the celebration of peace. Just tell us a little bit about the road forward.
Well, I think, we've got giant minds like Jon Ramer and others that are figuring out, the Martin Luther King quote that we all use all the time, that we have to learn how to organize. Those who love peace need to learn to organize as effectively as those who love war. So we're getting organized, Scott, is the short answer. And we're using different platforms, different models, different formats. Some of them are the weekly meetings, which are going to be every Wednesday in 2 different time zones around the world. One is 3 p.m. Pacific time every Wednesday, which is 6 p.m. Eastern time. The other one is 10 a.m. Central European time. For that side of the world, Africa, Middle East, UK, and Europe, of course. So we're going to have these 12 weekly meeting pulses and get the community engaged. We're looking at engaging a platform called Mighty Networks. Of course, we've got Weaver, which is a really brilliant directory, synergy directory. So there are different ways that we're getting organized. The weekly meetings, the ongoing, circles that are going to be devoted to the various aspects of outreach and planning and engagement and execution is a key word for us. We have the will, we have the spirit, we have the network, we have the resources, and now it's all about execution. So we're gonna go to work over these next 12 weeks, and we're going to bring it home. and meeting weekly every Wednesday in room 1, which you can find in various places. And we'll be revealing more during these meetings, Scott, about how we organize. Because we've got to become something we haven't been before, and to do that, we need to really utilize the tools that are at our disposal. So, yeah, it's and we haven't got it all figured out, and I think that's probably important to say too. We don't have it all figured out. There are people out there that are far more brilliant and far more expert of knowing what needs to happen next, and we're calling out to them. We're calling out to them and say, come and join and come and play, and let's do this together. We need you. We need all skills, all talents, all gifts, and all missions coming together in one orchestrated, beautiful, harmonious teaming up, as Jon Ramer is calling it. So that's where we're at, and we need all hands on deck. We're meeting this Wednesday, 3 p.m.
Ben, don't leave yet. I want to say something to you. And it's just, I have to say this. First of all, thank you. I just want to say this. I worked my ass off these last few weeks in preparing my little pieces that I've done, right? But I worked in an infinitesimal amount compared to the 4 of you. I mean, I can't even imagine what you guys have done. And I worked really hard these last week, And this is what I want to say. You guys, for those of you who have not experienced World Unity Week, Ben, Becky, Jon, Irina, you have been creating content that is endlessly relevant for our time now. Just because it just happened, it's these replays. It's like an encyclopedia of open source. If you build it, they will come content that is fresh in response to what's going on right now and what needs to happen. So instead of just a live event, you now have these replays that are going to be forming a phenomenal archive, and last year too, of phenomenal information and activation and I just can't say enough what, if you build it, they will come. It's that great quote that Teresa said, that Hartman says, that it's not about the numbers, it's about the quality of coherence. And that is what you're demonstrating. And I am just so moved, inspired, and by just being a part of a tiny, tiny little part of what you guys have done. And to believe in the generosity and the kindness and the wisdom and the effectiveness that you, Becky, and all of you have been doing. It's like, I feel so lucky to be a part of this family and to create with so much heart and soul and passion and purpose that I just can't thank you enough. I just had to acknowledge that you've created, my whole talk was living library. Well, this is a living encyclopedia called World Unity Encyclopedia of living consciousness and living presentation. And I just need to say one more thing. As you can tell, I'm very excited. There are a couple of standouts. When the Interview with God, I'm like, my mind is
Neil Walsh.
Walsh. His speech, unbelievable, right? And then there's so many like moments that happen that will be unforgettable to me, that actually set a new bar of what it is that we have to do. In a way, the unpacking of what you guys have assembled is in and of itself one of the most profound jobs ahead. And I just want to, there's so many great, I don't want to take too much space, but just thank you for the privilege of being a small part of your team. And I'm in and I'm committed and I love you. And I'll never forget that moment, Ben, early in January of 2021, when I went, no, don't ask me to do the Caravan of Unity. I'm too busy. And I could never say no to you. And my life has never been the same since, man. So that's my offering. I love you all. And my life is forever changed because of the level of lining up my purpose with exactly what I'm doing. And I love you for that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. The power of yes. Gary, I think that's a real theme from today, the power of yes. And we did, just quickly, Scott, the piece that Gary's talking about with Neil Donald Walsh was the most profound experience for me this World Unity Week as well. It was off the charts. And so we're going to edit it. In fact, we've already edited it. We were going to play it at the ceremony today, but we ran out of time. So Teresa Collins has got an 8-minute edit, which we'll be sharing out everywhere. But it's, look, there's lots of amazing stuff, and that was definitely one of them. But yeah, thank you, Gary. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Jon. Thank you, Becky, and everybody. Blessings. And A. Marie, who's a panelist on the air plenary together with Sister Jenna and Patricia Ann Davis. The three of them were incredible. The plenary devoted to it. Can you imagine Sister Jenna, A. Marie, and Patricia Ann Davis? I mean, my goodness, absolutely powerful, powerful breath of life. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ben. Rest well. Enjoy your family. Gary, I want to hear from you in a moment. But Becky, since we just heard Ben acknowledge Anne Marie, can you introduce her for us, please?
It would be my joy. So our beautiful, I'm so grateful that A-Marie was able to join us tonight. A-Marie Thomas Brown is a conduit for peace, unity, and love. They traveled to North Carolina and Central America, the Middle East, Africa, the Caribbean, and West Indies with a base out of Atlanta, Georgia in the United States to uncover the hidden treasures through diverse cultures and peoples. They published The Reformation of a Nation, the United State of Remembrance, as an answer to the spiritual unrest intensified with the global pandemic through the power of breath and cultivating stillness within. They practice healing and presence in their roles as a speaker, writer, doula, Reiki practitioner, caregiver, and friend. And so here, A-Marie is joining us. And A-Marie, I just want to say a couple other words. You're such an incredible light. You've been such an inspiration to me the last couple of months getting to know you. A-Marie is a room steward of the Poetically Speaking Convergence Room. And thanks to A-Marie, they created a room where people could come forth, have an open mic experience where they shared their poetry. And it was really so beautiful. And I want to introduce them right now so that they can share a poem that they shared during World Unity Week. And so I'll turn it over to you with so much love.
Thank you so much, Becky. Thank you. There are no words that I could say that adequately express the depth of peace that resonates from many voices meshed. A sampling of a mystical thread that unfolded in each offering. Beyond every word that was said, the epiphany of Karen and her spontaneous offering. Beyond every word that was said, Becky's rendition of the day that the activists slept. I have wept with great joy as the week unfolded, and all the peace that each voice molded into a frame for this now moment. There was breath, stillness, sharing, and laughter. So many journeys, a continuing chapter. Deep bow, namaste.
Hey, Marie, thank you so much.
It's wonderful to have you with us. This is your first time, of course, on the Awakening World, so it's wonderful to meet you. And of course, I saw you on World Unity Week, and I'm wondering if you'd be willing to stay and maybe share another poem with us. Would that be possible?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Good to be here and meet you as well.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll come back to you in a moment.
Okay.
You can decide whether. And I want to acknowledge Reverend Deborah Moldau. I know she can't stay long, but she is such an incredibly important part of our Global Peace Tribe. And she, of course, is who focuses all these wild and crazy and wonderful people that are called evolutionary leaders. Rev Deb, I'd love to hear, what are some of the highlights for you this past week in watching World Unity Week?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, and thank you, Scott, for giving me the opportunity to speak. I just want to acknowledge the team that made that happen. Because what they accomplished, in my mind, is completely impossible. To bring so many people together and give everyone a platform, completely open invitation. Everyone who wanted to steward a room to bring forth their organization, their music, their poetry, their vision. Anyone was allowed to play. And this is truly the new paradigm in action. I don't know how they could possibly have accomplished as many programs as they did. And of course, any one person like me was only able to listen to a limited number of the programs. But every single plenary that I enjoyed, I learned something incredible from. And sometimes I found myself watching the next plenary because it came up and it wasn't a subject that I normally would be interested in, and then it blew me away. So I just can't thank Ben and Jon and Becky and Irina and the whole team enough for just putting their entire heart and soul into creating a truly open platform for this community. And yes, we can call it the Global Peace Tribe. I love that name. Bringing us all together in a way that everybody could play and everybody could come away inspired. When I heard the closing piece that Gary Malkin recorded with Dot Maver,
yes.
Oh my God, wait until you all hear this because it will give you hope for the future. Truly extraordinary and perfect close, starting with Kristin's amazing song as the opening of World Unity Week and Dot's spoken piece as the close. Just extraordinary. And the last thing I want to say is that they will all tell you this is only the beginning. This is the first week of the 99 days of peace through unity. And as you know, Scott, my work has been focused for 25 years on the International Day of Peace. And that's where we're heading. That's where we're heading as a community. And we are going to see really what the grassroots can accomplish, how we the peoples can have a voice. So kudos, my friends. You have done an extraordinary job. And Scott, you've been holding this space since COVID began. So bless you all. You are all part of this magical weave that is the possibility for peace on earth.
Thank you, Reverend Deb. Love you so much. I'm going to go to Gary Malkin because talk about an example of amazing creative expression. Gary does such amazing things. And so we're going to go to Gary next. And then Jon Ramer, if you could just queue up when I come to you a little bit later in the show soon, how people can catch all the replays, because a lot of people in the chat box are saying, oh my God, there was so much going on. How do I catch the replays? So Jon, we'll go to you in a moment after Gary, and you can share with us. And I see Jay Mayer is in the house, and so he'll be talking to us about a moment for peace. So a lot of our family is here, and but now I'm going to turn it over to the brilliant and wonderful Gary Malkin.
You know, what a surprise, Scott. Thank you for the invitation. I feel so humbled and grateful. You know, necessity is the mother of invention. And I remember because I've been working on a musical for 7 years on the miracle of life as a woman's right to unmedicalized birth and celebrate the power of bringing a baby into the world. It's called Can You Hear Me, Baby? And I was no way I had any time for Unity Week 2021. And when Ben asked to do something, I thought, well, what could really feed the field? And it's really the heart of my work is how can we transform so that who we listen as is from a unified state, from a place of coherence, vibrational coherence, heart coherence, whatever you call it, a receptive, fertile state of receiving and absorbing information in more than just our linear rational minds. So Sarah McCrum, who's my unbelievable collaborator, thought leader, we put our heads together and we thought, could we possibly create these short transformances, which we have them basically between 5 and 25 minutes each. We have 60 of them, and they're amazing, and I can't wait for you to experience them sometime. But we thought, could we winnow it down to 2.5 minutes? And we just didn't think it was possible. But we went in the studio remotely, Brisbane, Oakland, got a studio together, and we created these 8 transformance pieces. And Scott is asked to hear and see one. And just think about what our goal is. What if we all gathered online with the recognition that the heart of being and living in this first world, in this developing culture, I mean, the developed culture, the civilized culture, is by definition that we're distracted and fragmented in our attention. Because how could you live in this life with the divisive news and all the stuff? How could you live in this life without fragmentation of some kind, without distractedness of some kind? So my prayer, and Sarah's in my prayer, is that what if we also had an agreement to actually take responsibility more than, it's wonderful to take breaths before a Zoom and meditate and be in silence, fantastic. But what if beauty itself had an entrainment tool that when it was unified by everyone, what if there was a way that it changed the way we all listen together? And it's a question. It's a question. I have no certainty, but you're about to experience the one that we created called 2030 and Beyond. And I just love you to experience it as what I call it a mediaceutical. No, maybe a meditation, whatever it's called. It's designed for the purposes of corralling all of our attention's capacities into a way in which we can reconnect our primordial connection to one another as if we're around a fire together. And that's what it is. And I'll begin it. Is that cool, Scott? Do you want me to do it now, or do you want to ask?
Yeah, do it now. Absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you for the privilege of sharing. Oh, I have to share. Hold on. I can't believe I forgot that. That's so funny. Okay, there we go. Oh no, hold on. I'll just do it the typical way. Here we go. Basic. Share sound. Sorry about that. Here we go. All right. Thank you to 99 Days for allowing us to preview these pieces for the community and the world.
Let's take a look into the year 2030. A time when we can see the results of so many people making positive change. Let's feel right now what it's like to know peace on our planet. Let's see what it looks like when Earth is free to restore her natural beauty. Let's listen to the sounds of people who are living in harmony with each other and with nature. Let's sense the deep love for life that has created this change. The people who have joined together to do good for the world. The individuals who had the courage and determination to do what they knew was right. The organizations that changed direction for the sake of our mutual well-being. The leaders who encouraged us to trust ourselves and our inner knowing. The spirits who whispered in our hearts, showing us the way when we couldn't see it clearly. These are the expressions of love that unite us and give us power to move forward, creating the world we long to live in. Let's bring that world into the present moment. and live it today and tomorrow and the next day and every day on the path to 2030 and beyond.
I was just thinking after watching that the heroes, Ben, John, Irina, you guys, that's what she was talking about. You know, Awakening World, Saturday Night Alive, Evolutionary Leaders, the Synergy Circles. These are the organizations that Sarah was talking about. That before I just got the chills and almost moved to tears when I realized we know that famous Margaret Mead statement: never doubt that a small group of concerned citizens. In fact, it's the only way it's ever been. We're part of that growing movement of people that know that the experts don't know anymore. It's all of us that have to step forward. So thank you for the privilege of sharing, Scott. I love you, man, and feel so much kinship with you and everyone on this call. Blessings.
Well, thank you, Gary. I love you too. And, before you go, I'm going to bring Jon and Becky back up. Did you hear what Adil said about the Schumann resonance? During this week, there was a noticeable difference. Now, I want to get the statistics and the information on that, but that is exactly what you're talking about, Gary. It's exactly what you're talking about. A small group of people, let's face it, most of the time there were 100, maybe 150 people watching.
Well,
more
group because of Facebook Live. But
then more with the Facebook Live, of course. Right, 150 in the Zoom room and maybe 1,000 on Facebook. Still, that's small when you consider the planet. But it made a difference in the Schumann resonance. That is amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And there were 23 rooms, right? Room 1 was one of them. So there's some multiplier going on here that I don't claim to understand either, but
yeah.
I'm not surprised. And Gary, I just want to tell people, if they don't know this, Sarah explained to me, you and Sarah would go into a studio together virtually, and that was improvised.
First take, all of them.
She did not write those words, and Gary did not write that music before they came together in coherence and in love and whatever that magic is. Just let that flow. That's extraordinary.
Yeah, no, I mean, you should hear the 60 other ones that we did that
I
longer.
No
60? You've done 60 of those?
Yeah, and they're all first take. Not a single one did we ever redo. They all first take done. Unbelievable. On all different subjects. And we're going to do a batch more coming up in the next few months. So
how do we find your transformances?
Well, right now you can go to transformance.global. And you can experience them there, but also sarahmccrum.com, and her website, Liberate Humanity, is the most recent place to find them. And we're still trying to figure out how to deliver them and disseminate them. So it's still an unknown how we're gonna.
Well, Gary, you know that we've been training all of our team up volunteers, our presenters, event hosts, and our convergence room stewards to presence these beautiful transformances during their offerings as an opening or as a midpoint or as a closing, to add more beauty and presence to each of the times that we gather, so that we really use these Zoom rooms in sacred ways. And so it's been such a gift to be able to share your gifts, Sarah's gifts, and the beauty, the visual, to teach people how to use Zoom and screen share, make sure they're getting the beautiful sound coming through and all of that. But that we have that for Team Up, about a dozen of them, I think, that we have. And now they're branded with the 99 Days of Peace through Unity too.
Yeah. So bless you, Becky. That's so heartwarming. Makes me feel that's what we were hoping for, right?
So I've gone to your webpage. So everybody, this is where you can find these. Transformance.global. Transformance.global. And oh my gosh, all these beautiful videos you've created, and I think that people can order them and purchase them. There's a lovely greeting there from Sarah McCrum. So beautiful. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. I really appreciate it. Well, I'm going. I'm getting offline now. And I love you guys, Becky and John. Looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday. And I'll see you later.
Gary. Thanks
Thanks,
again.
Scott, so much.
Thanks, Gary. God bless you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
All
brother.
right, so John and Becky, I know I want to go to one spot. This is the ongoing World Unity Week participation form.
Right.
So everybody, we'll put this back in the chat box, and thank you, Debbie Johnson, for putting the links in. So is this the best place for people to go?
No, that's
Actually, yeah, that's actually a different link we have.
Hold on. So let me just say a couple words, because for those who weren't there, they're probably wondering, what are we really talking about here? Let me try to make it as simple as I can. So, and one of the things I did was I started this thing called the Compassion Games. And so games are sometimes a fun way to understand things, right? We've created this game. It's a contact sport, World Unity Week, as every convergence is that we do. And there, you could be a steward, or you can come and offer your gifts through either being an event host or a presenter. So we have all these rooms that the stewards and the event hosts and these convergence rooms with the presenters and event hosts working to prepare. And then we publish and share all of this content, but it's not like content. They're actually experiences that you can go in. So you can go to the calendar here. Let me show you how you get to the stuff you're talking about, Scott, so that people can find that. But if you go to World Unity Week, let's go there together. Hold on. So we'll just do this together. If I go to One World where I was before, right? And every one of those convergence rooms you can get to, and I showed you how you do that. But one room we call Room 1 has a very special it has a great steward. Ben's the steward, right? But in that room, we've said, let's take all those plenaries and all the sessions that are happening there and put them out on this one stream, as well as including content from other rooms that have been featured. So this, you see what I did there? I just linked off of One World and worldunityweek.org. Go to schedule. And if you go to the one stream, what we've done here is everything that was in the one stream, which was either a plenary, you can learn more about. And you can say, I want to watch that. I want to see that. So they're all here. So each day, and all of now, this is only a portion. This is kind of like Burning Man, okay? And that there's so much going on. There's a playa. We've got the One World, so it isn't easy, but we curated a stream called One Stream, where all the plenaries from Room 1 plus featured content from the other convergence rooms went out on. That's the one stream that you can go, and that's where you'll find a lot of the content, but not all of it. If you really want to see all of it, go into each of the rooms. That's what I was showing you before, where you can actually get the time to understand what was done in that room, the schedule. That's right. For over here, you can say, well, let me go to all the events, or go to One World. If I go to all the events, now they're all past, so I have to go view the past events. You can see one long. Now, what's so cool about this time that we did, I hate to emphasize the tech part, but we made it so you can go here and add these things to your calendar. So people were able to build their own itinerary out of all of the different offerings that were happening in all the different rooms. Like in the Global Fire Ceremony room, Brother Chief Phil was talking about the Moment for Peace that he's doing with Jay, and that we're all supporting Jay and Janice with doing. And the thing is, we're turning these into synergy projects. We're not just talking about our stuff. I mentioned earlier this shift from pitching to pooling. This is an engaging, interactive sport. The point of the game is peace through unity. And I was just kind of explaining to you what you could do. If you want to be a steward of a room, or if you want to present during Peace Week, we're going to be preparing a convergence unlike anything we've ever done before. This is mass collaboration at a new level. And we don't really, claim to understand it all, but it's by walking the path, we're making it visible. Having someone like Becky right here together, and Ben and Arena and the whole team has made it possible for us together. This Sign Alliance is love in action. It's people sharing. We were able to go out over 170 pages for the continuation ceremony. This is
170 pages. That is so cool.
Yeah, we're capable of more than we realize. We can build with the abundance of love and trust and compassion, and really challenge ourselves to get work done too. Things like teaming up to build the House of Hope in Auschwitz for Ukrainian refugees. We're doing that. She was talking about the impact that we're having there. there's real stuff happening, on the ground results.
We're talking about talking about teaming up, I've just added joining us is Jay Mayer. And of course, Jay was the executive producer of Saturday Night Alive and a wonderful part of our Global Peace Tribe. And Jay has been promoting this beautiful moment of peace that we've been showing. Of course, everybody watching Awakening World, you've seen me presenting it the last few weeks. And I'm going to bring it up. So, Jay, tell us a little bit about this movement.
Well, a moment for peace is a perfect thing for the Global Peace Tribe. I mean, it really gives us a place to land as a powerful force of good on the planet. And anybody who wants to serve, you know, all the greatest beings, they're all servants, and we all know about service and how good it feels. You know, just when we're troubled, when we want to bless the world, just imagine 8 o'clock at night, which is an infinity sign, and then just go peace. You know, send your peace, feel peace, a direct peace to this kind of a placeholder for all of our prayers and invocations and blessings. And we want to grow this ongoing, you know, through the 99 days of peace, and incorporate religions and religious leaders and thought leaders. So we want to grow this, and we want to grow it with the Global Peace Tribe. It's really come from the Global Peace Tribe. And yeah, that's just about it. You know, it's just the world is in such a need of us to have this united focus now, you know, where we're all focusing together and creating a lot of good in the world.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jay, for everything you always do. You do a wonderful job of supporting us, supporting Saturday Night Live when it was happening, and now this Global Moment of Peace. You're collaborating with Brother Phil. We all love Brother Phil. He's one of our absolute favorite presenters and just such a beautiful, beautiful soul. So, you know, thank you for that.
We're going to be converting it to all the different languages. It's actually Phil's picture. I don't know if we showed the flyer, but you know, that's Chief Phil Lane. And
yeah, I was, while you were talking, I was showing the flyer, Jay.
So we're, you know, we're really wanting to bring we really are one tribe. You know, we're one nation all over the world. So we're trying to pull all of our forces together for good. Thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you. I enjoyed the program that you and Becky and Chief Phil did on World Unity Week. And of course, we had Chief Phil on our Sacred Sunday show live last week. So thank you, Jay. God's blessings to you, and give a big hug to Jan. Thank you so much. Becky, I'm going to come back to you. Thank you for being here. I know you've been going all day, all night. You're on East Coast. It's, my God, it's 10 o'clock at night where you are. So
come on, we got another 4 hours.
Oh my God, you're amazing. So I know you've got, I want to hear a little more of what you'd like to share. And I so appreciate, look at how blissed out this woman is. She's been working like probably 24 hours a day for 7 days, and she's still blissed out.
Well, love is regenerative. And so we have given and received so much love, and it just truly, and for those of you, I put this in the chat for people who are in the Zoom room but are watching the live stream. It's not too late for you to register at worldunityweek.org. Without the participate, you can just go there and click register. It's free to get emails. Then we'll be telling you about more things that are happening over the next 91 days. So, you know, that my kids use the expression FOMO. I don't want you to have the fear of missing out if you're hearing about this for the first time, but my light is lit because of the work that we're doing, you know, together, because we are the new media. We truly are. We're experiential media. We're in Zoom rooms doing this beautiful work. We're deep listening to each other. We're presencing and present for each other. And the old media is not telling the stories of the healing and the restorative work that's actually happening right now. But we are, because we're not motivated. I mean, we're inspired if we receive monetary blessings for our work, and it makes it easier, but that's not our mission, our primary mission. You know, we're here to use love as a currency. And so it's so inclusive. You know, money separates people in ways that are so oppressive, and this is given freely, you know, and so we're grateful for sponsors. And if anyone's ever interested in talking with us about that, we do have some opportunities for the 99 days of peace.
Thank you. Thank you.
But it's incredible. So
Well, I'm going to let you and John go in a minute because you've both been going all day long and you're probably hungry and tired or whatever. But before you go, let's everybody just twinkle John and Becky as they represent the incredible core team that brought us World Unity Week and will be continuing to bring us these 91 remaining days and, of course, the big peace celebration at the end of it all. And I would love to ask you, I know you've got
would you like the song? Would you
You
like
know, I thought it would be good. I could play that song.
I already have it queued up. I got it.
All right, Becky.
So let's end with that. That's for our segment. This is a great inspiration, my God.
Are we ready for it, Scott?
Yeah, this is our new theme song, really. This is our new
song of
theme
the summer.
Yep, yeah, we all love Kristin Hoffmann. So here we go, Kristin Hoffmann and 99 Days of Unity.
Do you have it on your local drive? I do.
I do, yeah. Hang on. I just want to make sure I'm not pulling the transformance yet. There you go.
Let me tell you about the lie we've been living in for centuries, millennia. They say peace through domination's justifiable while building up the arsenal. All the sages and wise men of the ages were guiding us to look within ourselves. But the fear so divisive and the lies so enticing, we keep spinning this hell. Shine your light, you are the future being told. Cultivating the seeds we've sown. 99 days of peace through unity. 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 99 days of peace through unity.
I love that song. And, you know, honestly, because of course we played it several times the last week, and I can't get it out of my head. I mean, really, I was telling Kristin we had a private conversation yesterday, and it was like, I can't get that out of my head. She said, Scott, it's been in my head for weeks.
And you know, Ben helped write it. He had the riff.
Yeah, he had the original riff and inspiration. That's right.
Yeah.
Synergy. This is what peace through synergy looks like.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, great collaborations all over. That's the game, guys. If you want a new pattern to play with each other that gets us freed from what's in the past kept us divided and apart, that's what we're really learning how to do. That's what this mass collaboration. That's what our alliance is about. That's what everything we're doing about. We're going to pull out all the stops this summer or winter, depending upon where you are on the planet. But I mean, I could see so much more we could do now that I saw this. It's like, now I can see what's next. It's clear. I love everybody, and I'm going. I am fading.
I'm going to let you go, John, but I'm going to replace you, John, with A. Marie Thomas.
Love
because she is got, I think, another poem for us. And Becky.
All right, I'll stay for that. I'll stay for that.
Absolutely. Okay. A. Marie, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And as we hear the transformance and the music, but thank you for bringing back one of the most wonderful human traditions. And you do spoken word so beautifully. So I'm going to turn it over to you, please.
Thank you. And I want you to know that I just sat here and created this for this moment now. So this is new. There's a synergy that's happening, a call to deeper knowing, to embrace the gift that can be felt, from stillness and silence to growing, evolving into all that can be through all that already is, aligning with ancestors, offspring, and friends to embrace, enjoy, and live again. Requires a remembrance that we can touch long before we became a zygote. We existed beyond the realm of dream until the cry of Earth's groaning, calling us forth to bridge the gap created when the activists took a nap. For such a time as this, a call to action, a joy to stand, arm in arm, hand in hand, at every level, remembering why we came to Earth before we die, and rejoining the ranks beyond breath, transcending life, embracing death, the beautiful continuum that forever will be, embodying light, love, and liberty. Feet on the ground, banners in hand, holding the light with our band of consciousness, our cosmic home, holding space in person and virtual. Remembering why we're here, let's raise the vibe. The Schumann residents cannot lie. Silence in movement as we go forth. In unity, there's a synergy in breathing, in holding space, allowing the presence as we embrace the call to action to unify, catch the wave, feel the vibe.
Oh, that is so powerful. Thank you so much, A. Marie. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, we have a playlist on our YouTube channel of favorite segments. And so I'm going to take that little your poem and put it on that playlist so people can play it. It's very, very beautiful. Thank you, A. Marie. Thank you so much.
You.
And thank you, Becky, for bringing A. Marie to us. I'm going to bring Becky on one last time. She said, Scott, there's this wonderful poem. I said, yes, I saw her on the show on World Unity Week. So
yes.
It's
Yes.
wonderful how we're
Thank
all
you.
discovering each other. We're all
So
discovering
incredible.
each other, and it's really, really beautiful.
Oh.
A. Marie, God bless you. Is there a way that people can get more from you? Is there a website or a place where we can find all
Weaver,
things?
you can connect with her.
Thank you, John. John's helping me with Weaver. I'm new to this world, so.
Okay, so we're going to weave with A.
Yes.
Marie. John, if you can just, I know you're fading.
I'll
but
do it. No, I'm here.
All right,
Marie,
so
Marie.
he's going to
Love
put the
you.
link in.
Love you, John.
So
Thank
much
you.
love. Thank you for
Love you,
everything you
Becky.
did for World
Mm.
Unity Week. Oh, I can't wait to play and dance and hear more poetry over the next 91 days.
You know, A. Marie,
Yes.
I also got to attend some part of World Unity Week, and I came across a poem that David Gershon shared. I don't know if you've heard this poem, but this, I think, is the perfect poem for you, Scott, in our awakening world.
Great.
Hmm.
I'm going to share this quick poem, okay? And then I'll...
Go for it. Go for it.
This is Rainier Rilke. And the poem says, again and again in history, some people wake up. They have no ground in the crowd, and they move to broader, deeper laws. They carry strange customs with them and demand room for bold and audacious action. The future speaks ruthlessly through them. They change the world. Rainier Rilke.
Love you, John.
I love you too, Amory. Thanks for bringing the spoken word and the breath so present here. There was so many, crazy, wild moments.
So beyond words, just.
I'm telling you, we've had.
yeah.
Thank you for being patient with me, John. I mean, just, this man is so amazing. With all that he had going on, that he found time not only once, but twice to have 30-minute sessions with me. And then Becky, when she's off graduating, becoming a reverend, but she's still.
We're here for each other. We're here. We're here. Yeah.
No words, just no words. Everything just so beautiful. And I'm just glad to be connected at this time now. for this work that we're doing
Wow.
together. Thank
I'm
you.
so grateful for you, sibling. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you,
God
A.
bless you.
Marie. Thank you, John, for everything.
God bless
Thank you,
God.
Becky. Go forth and eat, rest, do whatever you all need to
Sleep.
do. You've been fantastic.
Pretend to tell my family that I do still actually live here.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you,
Uh,
Love
Scott.
you guys. Love you.
all right. Well, I want to read some of the comments that have been coming in from the chat box. Um, and because so many of you in our Zoom room have been sharing beautiful, beautiful things. So thank you, John, for putting in where we can learn about um, A. Marie on Weaver. And everybody should join Weaver. Weaver is a new way that we're all connecting with each other. And John's really been the champion of Weaver. And if he's the champion of Weaver, Jeff Colebrook is the champion of Lovolution, because evolution comes through Lovolution. And okay, people have been asking about the Schumann resonance. And as I understand it, the Schumann resonance is actually a physicist or scientist named Schumann discovered that there's actually a pulse of the Earth, a heartbeat of the Earth, and that it's actually been growing faster. And obviously, I like to see it as Mother Earth. We're all children, and our true mother is Mother Earth, Gaia. And she is our mother. And as she pulses, we all feel it. We all experience it. We are connected to our mother in ways that we probably don't understand. And so the Schumann resonance is a fascinating thing. You can Google it. I noticed that one of our wonderful ongoing regulars put in a place where you can learn more about the science of resonance. And so who was that put that in there? No, it was not Jeff Colebrook. One of our regulars put it in. Put it in again, and I'll acknowledge you. Anyway, Adele, who runs Unify, and a lot of you are watching on Unify. I'm looking down at where I've got that on my other device. Adele is kind of who created Unify. And he came on to World Unity Week just at the very end and said that this week of World Unity Week, there was a scientific specific increase in the Schumann resonance, in the way they track Mother Earth's heartbeat, if you will. There was a noticeable difference this specific week that we were all gathering together for World Unity Week. Now, I just heard him say that at the end. I don't have the research, I don't have what he was referencing. So, hopefully we'll all get that. It'll probably show up if you go to unify.org or go to the Facebook Unify page. You can probably find it there. And so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And so back to some comments from all of you. Jeffrey Colebrook writes, yes, I am a supporter and love the Unified Science course for free at resonancescience.org. So there you go. Resonancescience.org is a place you can go for more information. I see Becky and Dr. Laura are connecting with each other. I love how we bring people together through this show. It's a very, very beautiful thing. And Dr. Laura, yeah, if you look up the graphs and you come up with any links, pop it in the chat box, and I'll share it with the audience even tonight. Okay, deep breath. So as we kind of complete our celebration of World Unity Week, our second part of the show is going to be celebrating the awakening world as we complete our spring season, as we celebrate the past and we look to the future. And so I do want to play some of just segments of some of our beloved friends that have been on the show, and people that I know that you all love. And one of the things that I love Andrew Harvey, and this is just a very brief minute and a half. When I told Andrew my vision to shift from Saturday Night Alive to a weekend of the awakening world. This was response.
Hello, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled to celebrate the awakening world and Scott Catamas's new formulation of his wild and holy adventure beginning next year. What more wonderful title could we have for that adventure than The Awakening World? And aren't we all going to need to be constantly reminded that there is a world awakening and being born in the middle of all of this massive apocalyptic destruction? We're going to need it like oxygen, and I cannot think of a more honorable and decent person to help us awaken to that awakening world than my old buddy and co-conspirator, Scott Catamas. And in the new year, Scott and I are going to do a whole program for you, a whole transmission for you on sacred inspiration. Because it's my experience, and I know it's Scott's too, that in a dark time, what we all need more than oxygen is sacred inspiration to keep us alive to our true selves and energized by divine love and given the courage to put love into action to become midwives of this awakening.
Thank you, Andrew Harvey. He is such an amazing human being. And for any of you that read books, read some of Andrew's books. His interpretation, translation of the Gospel according to Thomas is a really powerful, powerful translation. He also has a wonderful book called A Walk with Four Guides, where he talks about how he's been inspired by Jesus, by Ramana Maharshi, by Krishna, and by the Buddha of Compassion. And for any of you who don't know Andrew's background, it's really fascinating. His father was the British ambassador to India. That's like high level British aristocracy. And so Andrew was, as a child, raised in India. And on the one hand, he had this father that was very aristocratic and very British and very proper, but he was raised by an East Indian nanny who was Hindu, and he loved his nanny very much. So he, at an early age, saw the juxtaposition between British aristocracy and Indian Hinduism. And this was shortly after India had gained its freedom from Britain. So there was still that difference between the kind of British superiority perception and the aristocratic perception of superiority and the humility and beauty of the Hindu people. And this established with Andrew a lifelong fascination with diverse cultures. And he was an Oxford scholar. He's a brilliant mind, speaks multiple languages. And so he studied many of the great books in their original language. He studied Sumerian, he studied Aramaic, so he could read the original books of the Bible in their original versions before they were translated 100 times by people that, changed them, basically. So Andrew's a brilliant, brilliant person, and I encourage you to go look up Andrew Harvey, read his books. He's beautiful. All right, I'm going to go back to a couple more comments. Janice Hall, and Janice, I so appreciate you. You are a big part of Global Peace Tribe, and thank you for the wonderful program you did on climate change this week. That was one of my favorite programs on World Unity Week. And she writes that she's in love with Andrew, and I saw earlier that she had also commented on the 99 Days of Unity song, and how many times she's heard it and you can't get enough of it. And I know several of you, when I asked earlier what were your favorite moments from World Unity Week, where a lot of you commented on the concert from Kristin and Cornflower. And I'm going to play a couple of excerpts from that concert tonight as our musical offerings, and including 99 Days of Unity. Let's see what else is happening in the chat box here. Oh, yeah, Phil, you're welcome. Yeah, isn't it fascinating about Andrew? He's really quite remarkable. And again, just wanting to acknowledge our dear friend Carol. She's a regular on The Awakening World, and her husband passed away last week. And so let's just all take a moment of silence to send our love to Carol and just put out into the field our global peace tribe care for anyone who is in a time of challenge, whose heart might be hurting. Maximum grace for Carol. Maximum grace for her husband as he now finds himself in the next world, or the other world, or the astral world, however you like to see it. Maximum grace to us all. Maximum grace. Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. I'm appreciating all that's going on in the chat box. Scotty Satori, love you so much. Thank you, Scotty. He's on the land in Maui with my dear friend Kutira and Raphael. Carol writes, I spent the day today in Trinidad with his 4 children. It was amazing, like he was here with us, and I'm sure he was. We're doing all right considering, kept things light. I shared comments and pictures with them of all the countries we've lived in over the past 13 years. Egypt, Kenya, Colombia, Albania, United States, and El Salvador. Thank you for sharing that, Carol. What a rich life you shared with your husband. As most people know, my wife passed away 10 years ago. And it's a big deal when we have a spouse that passes, just as it's a big deal when a mother, father passes. And they do live forever in our hearts, absolutely. I'm going to play another video, and it's from absolutely one of my favorite human beings, Reverend Michael Beckwith. And I first started going to Agape, his church, when he first started it. He very first started actually in his living room. I didn't make it to the living room. But then he moved it to the basement of the Santa Monica Miramar Hotel. And there were about 15 or 20 of us meeting on metal folding chairs. And I was there and watched how it began. And now it's a worldwide ministry. And I've known Michael all those years. I've interviewed him on many of my television shows. He was on Saturday Night Live. He was on The Awakening World. And here's a beautiful, it's a 10-minute clip of what he has to say about The Awakening World and his view. And let's just all drop in with beautiful, beloved Reverend Michael Beckwith. Here we go. Michael, we're starting a new series in January called The Awakening World. The idea being that it's obviously a very hard time for a lot of people, but everything that is happening is part of the awakening world, and all of us as human beings awakening. And I would love anything you have to say about your perspective about this particular moment in time as the awakening world.
I would definitely be in alignment with what you just said. It is a time of great awakening. And I think that the prophecies from the indigenous cultures have pointed to this particular time in which we are living, in which there is decadence. There's that which is not in cadence with that which is emerging, that no longer serves us, that's falling apart and creating a lot of disturbance in the field for a lot of people. And then there's the emergence of expansion of our paradigm into a global society that's sustained more by compassion and love and generosity and forgiveness. I think we're in the midst of the destruction of one paradigm and the birth of another paradigm. The earth itself, if you look at the earth, Mother Earth, from the shamanistic point of view, a great shamans would say, one of them that we would talk about this, just passed a few days ago, Malidoma Some. When the earth spoke to him during his initiation into elderhood, she told him that she had already passed into another phase of consciousness. The frequency was much higher, and that humanity was being invited into a higher frequency. Those that come into it will pass through this phase with very little worry and anxiety and anxiousness and fear. But those that don't will pass through this phase with fear and worry and anxiousness and anxiety, and it will be a very difficult time for them. You see, so from the shamanistic point of view, and the mystical point of view, we're already, the earth is already at a higher frequency, and the field in which we're living is already at a much higher frequency. Some would say another dimension we're living in already. From a scientific point of view, the earth is vibrating at a higher frequency. Over the last 30 years, of which the Schumann resonance has been measured and things of that particular nature, it's at a higher frequency. So that means that certain things will not be sustainable if it's not at that frequency. If you start a business merely for profit and you don't care about what you're creating, you're just doing something just to make money, it's not going to be sustainable, you see. So we're in that dynamic right now. And so it behooves us to encourage folks to have a spiritual practice. Doesn't matter what you call yourself, doesn't matter what religion, just opt out of the dogma of it and come into what they all are leading us to, which is a closer walk with love, a closer walk with resonating with compassion and peace and generosity and forgiveness, all what all religions actually teach. But not to be religious or to come into high religiosity, but to really embrace the fruitage of the practice, which is a deep spiritual connection with the presence, you see, and that guides you in your thought, your conversation, and your deeds. So yeah, we're in a very volatile period of time, and everything that we're going through is kind of an evolutionary trigger that is pushing some people and pulling other people to another awareness of the cosmology of unity and oneness. See, so what I would say, I was recently on a panel with some good friends, Catherine Woodward Thomas and Marianne Williamson, and as we were exiting, Marianne said, "Michael, give us something positive to think about, with all the darkness, with all the stuff that's going on the planet right now. What would you say about it?" And I said, listen, the universe is progressive. The universe is the outpicturing of the fundamental order and harmony and beauty and symmetry of the heart mind of the infinite. It's always expanding to reveal more of the infinite nature of the presence. Even if it contracts a little bit, it always expands more, you see. And so it doesn't go backwards. It's always progressive. So with that, when something is out of alignment, something is not in integrity with the fundamental harmony of the universe, it creates a level of stagnation. So what happens is that stagnation creates a tension. And that tension becomes like a slingshot. As the universe is going forward, the stagnation, it feels like it's a slingshot going like this. And then when there's a release, the energy is released and it creates a kind of a renaissance that very quickly things change, but it changes through the individuals who are doing the spiritual work. Peace does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but it rolls in on the backs and the minds of individuals who are doing the spiritual work. So when that energy is released, it moves through people as creativity, innovativeness, resourcefulness, very fast. And so I think we're being prepared for a renaissance because of all the stagnation that's happening in systems that are systemic with greed, and systemic with injustice, systemic with bigotry, systemic with injustice. It's going to happen very rapidly. We're going to enter into a renaissance phase. And it's going to happen, it's not going to be like magic, like God's going to come out of the sky and do anything, because the presence of God needs vehicles, just like electricity needs a light bulb. Electricity is everywhere. Unless it has something to plug into, you don't see it. God's everywhere. But unless people are plugged in and bear witness to, it doesn't show up. So all of us who are doing spiritual work are going to be the instruments of a great renaissance. And even though it looks dire in many ways on the planet right now, looks dire, you see, because you can use the same laws for negativity, which many people are doing right now. But anything that is against life is not sustainable, because life's not going to work against itself. Eventually, the tension is going to create a slingshot and go, shoo, and that which is not in alignment will not be sustainable. And the new things that are in alignment will grow really, really rapidly fast. And the things that people are railing against won't have any power.
Beautiful. Yes, absolutely. Michael, thank you so much for these many messages and for being such a great inspiration in my life for 30 plus years now. So many people. We were at the Sheridan. I used to come see you downstairs at the Sheridan, man. There were like 20 people on metal folding chairs.
Absolutely. We started in my living room, and then we went to the Santa Monica Bay Women's Club, and then we went to the Miramar Sheridan downstairs, and then we went to the Wedgwood Room, and then we went to the Starlight Ballroom, and then we got those buildings over on Olympic, and then we went to Culver City, and now we're here at the Saban Theater in Beverly Hills. We're just in the midst of, right this moment, in November, going into December, we're celebrating our 35th anniversary.
Wow.
We're just celebrating 35 years of, and we've expanded more than any time in human history of our beginnings. We've expanded more during these past 2 years during the lockdown of healthy people. It's the first time in human history that there's been a lockdown on people who are healthy. It's never happened before. We're during these last couple of years. We've expanded more than any time of our existence.
It's a beautiful reframe. That was another thought that I had when you told the story about how Howard Washington Thurman reframed that experience. And you were so beautiful at reframing how we see things. And that's what you just did. You just gave 2 examples of reframing and seeing it from the bigger perspective, from God's eyes, from the spiritual perspective.
Yeah.
So there's another place I'm imagining that he helped influence that within you, watered that seed.
Absolutely.
Michael, God bless you. Have a very, very happy Holy Day season.
Absolutely. We're going to keep the holy and the holiday.
Absolutely. My big joke, my birthday is Christmas Day. So my joke always is, remember the true meaning of Christmas, not the little dude in the manger, not Santa Claus, but Scott's birthday.
Scott. Happy appearance today, brother.
Much love. God's blessings. Have a beautiful, beautiful few weeks. Look forward to our next connection.
God bless you.
He's such a beautiful man. And I want you to know, I'm kind of sharing like little insights and stories about these people that I've been blessed to know, like Andrew Harvey and Reverend Michael. He's the real deal. He's like that all the time. He's always upbeat. He's always humble. Many of the really wonderful luminaries that I've had the opportunity to meet, they're all very humble, and they're all God-centered. They're not doing it out of ego. They're doing it as channels for spirit to flow through. And Michael is like that. I went to Jamaica with him in 1995 and got a chance to really kind of see him. I saw Reverend Michael wearing a little Speedo bathing suit. But he's always like that. He's just an incredibly sweet and beautiful human being. And speaking of sweet and beautiful human beings, I talked earlier about how amazing Kristin Hoffmann is. She's become one of my favorite people on the planet. And I think it's time for a little music. So let's have some Kristin Hoffmann. And this is from the concert she just did. I had the honor of hosting, along with World Unity Week, a concert that she and Cornflower did on Tuesday night for the summer solstice. And this is one of her numbers from that concert.
Pieces that really honor my journey with Unity Earth, leading up to these births of World Unity Week and Peace Week over the past couple of years. But Unity Earth started in 2017. I met Ben at an incredible evolutionary leaders retreat. And the very first night, we sat outside and we dreamed into this possibility of all different spiritual leaders coming together in Ethiopia and rekindling the spark and the fire in the cradle of humanity. That was literally the dream. And we got so excited. And soon after that, I went home and I was looking through my songs and I realized, oh my gosh, I have a song that really speaks to this. And as we started, I sent it to Ben and we started listening to the lyrics and we said, oh my gosh, this is like the theme song of this Ethiopia journey. And we actually went to Ethiopia with about 80 or 90 spiritual leaders from all different countries, faiths, backgrounds, and everybody came in the name of peace. It was extraordinary. And we had this fire ceremony that was one of the most sacred experiences of my entire life. And at the fire ceremony, I played this song and after went into a solom piece, which is improvisational. It's just a spiritual feeling into what wants to be right now. So I'm going to reenact this fire ceremony now and enter through this doorway of the song re-entry and then go right into a solom journey. And we'll see what wants to be birthed in this moment, on this solstice, in this fire ceremony. Here we go. It was certain, silent lands of the soul, reconnected, uncovering a path of old. Embers from the ancient fires, still burning, burning bright, guide us back to one. It's the journey, our re-entry. The doors open, our souls pour through like beams of light. We awaken, an infinite convergence in our eyes. Let us not mistake the call of the highest love. Truth is echoing the core. It's the journey, our the call of the highest love. Truth is echoing the core. It's the journey, our re-entry.
We're going to come back to Kristin one more time tonight, or maybe two more times, to hear the Salome journey that she did just following that. But I wanted to come back to all of you. And I wanted to, again, open up to get your feedback. So speaking honestly and vulnerably, as probably most of you know by now, I got a second round of COVID. I had COVID about 3 weeks ago. My dog, by the way, is very excited because there's a park across the street and there are dogs playing in the park and she wants to be there playing with them. So you might hear some barks. So I got COVID about 3 weeks ago. And it didn't stay long. I took Paxlovid and knocked it out of my system and was good to go after about 5 or 6 days. But apparently there's a phenomenon with people who take Paxlovid that COVID comes back. And it did. I was able to go to the wonderful Soul Play Festival. I'm wearing my Soul Play Festival t-shirt. But then shortly after Soul Play, I really got hit hard. And been pretty knocked out, to be honest. I'm feeling a little bit better today, actually, which I'm happy for. But I've been pretty out. And I have not really been able to pull it together, to put together my plans for the summer season. And I've got mixed feelings. I recognize that I need to take a break. It's a lot to do, 3 shows a weekend. I also know it's summertime and people are zoomed out. So kind of the numbers of people watching have kind of dwindled, not significant, but and it's summertime. People are going to want to go out, go to movies, go to concerts, go to restaurants, go to festivals. So I'm not going to continue doing 3 shows every week through July at least. But I want to get your feedback. I'm wondering how many of you would like to come if I'm showing replays, like if I pick particular shows that were really wonderful shows and I pop that on as a replay. How many of you would watch? How many of you would come to that? So let me know that. I'm also curious, I could put together shows where I'm not lining up a lot of guests, but I do kind of what I'm doing now, where I show favorite segments or interesting moments from the past, and we chat back and forth, and I'm still with you live, but I haven't gone through all the work of putting together a show. There's also the financial part of it. Obviously, this is the last show of the season, and I want to thank all of you who subscribed, whether you came in at the $15 level or came in at the $500 level. Most people came in at 35 or 75, and whatever level you came in on, thank you, because there were a lot of expenses. I pay Unify to carry us. I paid my assistant, my support team, all the posters that we make up and such. And so there's the financial element of it. And so I'm wanting to kind of sort it all out. So your feedback is going to be really important. I see a lot of comments are coming in. I always save the chat box, and I'll go back and I'll read the chat because I'm not able to read it right now as I'm doing all of this. And I do want to remind people that in the short run, a couple of wonderful ways that you can financially support us is through this is a tax-deductible donation if you make it. You can take your camera and go to the Q code, and it'll bring up how to donate to the Global Peace Tribe. Or you can go to supportgpt.com, supportgpt.com, and donate. And those are tax-deductible donations, and they definitely really help out a lot. So I'm probably going to do a few shows during the month of July. You can put in your calendars on Sunday, July 10th. I'm going to be hosting a rainbow concert with Fantuzzi and other musical artists. So you can put that into your calendars. Sunday, July 10th at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do a Rainbow Fantuzzi concert that I'll be hosting. And I'll probably do a couple of other shows over the course of the summer, or over the course of July, just to keep things going. But I haven't figured out what the next subscription period or options are going to be. And I will put that out to all of you. Certainly it's important that all of you, if you've previously registered, I have your email address, and I'll send out email notifications. And we will send out the email as we normally do on Monday with the replays from this weekend. And I will be doing a Sacred Sunday show tomorrow morning. And Trish is going to be with me, and she's going to be live at the Gay Pride Parade. And it's Pride Month, and she's going to be at the Gay Pride Parade. And we're hoping that she's going to have a good enough signal that she can kind of cover what's happening at Gay Pride Week. So speaking of Gay Pride, and you might have seen it before because I played it last week, this is a wonderful video from Nina Grae that I'm going to play next. And she made this video just for us. She made it just for the awakening world, and it's to celebrate all love, including Gay Pride Week. So here's one of our favorite musical artists, Nina Grae, with a song just for us, just for the awakening world.
Is there a right way? Or can we get it wrong? When we love someone, when we're loving someone. If it were up to Jesus, think he'd open up his arms to really love someone, to really love everyone. Love is what they say, ain't that what matters in the end anyway? Different colors and different lives, it's all the same on the inside. Love is what they say, ain't that what matters in the end anyway? Different colors and different lives, it's all the same on the inside. What they say, ain't that what matters in the end anyway? Different colors and different lives, it's all the same on the inside. Love is what they say, ain't that what matters in the end anyway? Different colors and different lives, it's all the same on the inside. Love is
she wonderful? I mean, I just love all the time and energy she put in writing that song, recording it, doing the voiceover, adding all the animation. So much creativity in our tribe. We saw it with Gary Malkin, 65 transformances. We see it with Kristin Hoffmann, and we see it with all of you. While that song's playing, I did take a look through the chat box, and I'm really happy to see how many of you would come for replays or for me hosting segments. That really makes me happy. So that inspires me to really do my best to make sure that we've got something going on most Saturday nights. And I'll send out an email this week letting you know what my plans are. Thank you, everybody, and continue to put feedback in. Also, I really like Dr. Laura's suggestion about doing group meditations, because there is a lot of power that we have as a group. There are 80 of us in the Zoom room right now, and hundreds or maybe 1,000 watching on Facebook and YouTube. And yeah, I think creating group meditations would be very, very powerful. And so I'll incorporate that into some of our future planning. I like that idea very, very, very much. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna couple more segments. We're not going to do a long show tonight, but I did promise to show some of our favorite people, and I want to bring on Claire Dubois. She is one of the most powerful and passionate voices that we've had on Saturday Night Alive or Straight Talk or The Awakening World. She's the co-founder of Tree Sisters. And, you know, The Awakening World is all about relationships, our relationship to our planet, our relationship to each other. And her voice, of all the climate, environmental people we've had, her voice especially resonates for me. And so I invite us to drop in and listen to the passion and the resonance of this powerful woman, Claire Dubois.
This is not a simple time to be alive, you know, and I can talk about trees till the cows come home, and they are my greatest love, along with the rest of the planet, frankly. But actually, what I really want to talk about is us. It's what it means to be human. Is the conundrum that we find ourselves in, or the cauldron of alchemical potential that we find ourselves in. The reality that is what we have, whether you believe in it or not, I believe, chosen to be birthed into, chosen to be here for. And if you believe that you choose your time of birth, if you believe that we get to have some choice in that, then you might also believe that there would be a reason that you have chosen to be here at what is probably the greatest turning point for humanity, where we get to crash or we get to leap. It's going to be one or the other, and we don't know. If you know the science, it looks like we're going to crash. If you really understand that we have no idea what a human being actually is, then there's a distinct possibility that we could leap. If you don't believe that that you get to choose your point of birth, then, well, you're here anyway. So what are you going to do with it? So to me, there's one choice right now, and that is to turn into the skid, to turn into everything that's coming, or to turn your back on it and to miss the greatest opportunity for shared evolution that we've ever offered ourselves. And, you know, I think probably everybody else here has decided to do the turn into the skid version of events, because let's face it, turning your back to this is not empowering. It's not empowering. It's destabilizing, it's frightening, it's like an abdication of responsibility. You know, if there's a tsunami bearing down on you, don't you want to see? Don't you want to know what's coming? Don't you want to have some sense of capacity to take some action? And more than that, more than just taking action, don't you want to discover who you are? You know, don't we all want to know who we are, what we're made of? Don't we want to have the most meaningful incarnations we could possibly give it? You know, you hear people talk about, oh, there's souls queuing up to get onto planet Earth. You know, this is where it's all happening. And meanwhile, we've got so many people here going, oh my God, I just want to get off the planet. You know, I don't want to be here. I want to be as far, you know, like, let's see how many incredibly wealthy people are trying to figure out how to trash this planet and then get onto another. Like, God damn it. This planet of ours is so miraculously, extraordinarily beautiful. And we're part of that. You know, it's very easy to forget that we're made of the same rain that has been raining in this world for hundreds of thousands of millions of years. You know, the water that is in your veins was in the dinosaurs, you know, has passed through God knows how many trees, been rained and rivered and rained and rivered and rained and rivered. And now it's in the river of you. You know, we aren't separate from this planet. We're made of this planet. It's just we happen to also be made of stardust. We happen also to be made of sunlight. We happen also to be made with a cosmic breath of some description that is part of all that is. You know, in this moment, you are being kissed all over by a sky that has no limit, but vast intelligence. So then what's the possibility of humanity that a limitless cosmos worth of intelligence is available for this little bit of planet that's walking around trying to wake up to who or what it is? You know, is the cosmos and the sky going to just go out on shopping? Is that the game we're playing? Do we think that limitless intelligence merged with Gaia in her absolute magnificence is just going to throw us away because she can't be bothered to wake up to the miracle of life? You know, we're doing a really good rendition of that, but I just don't buy it, because I think inside every one of us is extraordinariness waiting for us to realize that that's what's here. And it's frightening. It's frightening because we've been taught that we're less than, we've been taught to give our power away, we've been taught that we're not sovereign, we've been taught that a culture that is wiping out its own life support machine is a sane culture, and it's not. So we're living in an insane mindset that has created fundamental separation from all that is, and we're being told that that's normal. And any form of breaking out of what is normal feels incredibly weird in your body because we're being cultured and conditioned to a certain way of being, but that way that we've been conditioned is fractured, it's a lie. We're not here to destroy ourselves. We're here to love ourselves and each other into the fullest expression of what a human being is. And we have no idea what that even means. And that's why I've got hope. There are indigenous people on this planet who know how to put crystal in the ground and create water, who know how to work with the weather, who know how to go to Fukushima and do prayer and reduce radioactivity. They are much closer to understanding what a human being is because they are in dynamic relationship with nature, which is their nature. Human nature is nature. And if we log on to nature rather than just logging onto the bloody internet, we can log on to the real internet, which is actual creation, then we will find that we have no edges. There is nowhere where you end and nature begins, because there's only one being here, and it is a being full of light and intelligence. And if we can open our minds and our bodies and our nervous systems enough, with enough humility to let life as it really is pour in, till we're on our knees in humility before the miraculousness of creation, then you get to be broken open through the conundrum that we have created for ourselves. Broken open through fear and shock and all the rest of the stuff that you naturally feel when you feel powerless and when a tsunami is breaking on you. But then if you can open your arms and say, do me, come on. We've created this. We've created this for our own evolution. And what are we going to do? Pretend it's not happening? Or are we going to let it rip us open beyond all the limitations that are nothing to do with who we are, so that we can find that immensity, that love, that meaning, that passion, that grief, that rage, that ecstatic nature that is nature. You don't see a tree going, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so beautiful. Oh, I'm just going to strip. Oh, I'm too much. Oh, I'm too little. You know, nature doesn't do this weird thing that we do with ourselves. It just gives itself completely. That to me is the moment that we have created for ourselves. We've created a moment of absolute radical possibility for ourselves, where if we're willing to fully feel and fully face everything that we have created for ourselves, these are the circumstances for our own transcendence. Because we are life, and life wants us to wake up. Because we are nature, and nature is not here to self-combust. Because we are extraordinary potential. We are a living cosmos inhabited in this little bit of Gaia, which is billions of years worth of wisdom and experience and experimentation. And here's humanity standing there, sky meeting earth, with all of that inside us and in our so-called junk DNA, the DNA of every living species on this planet. We are a walking activation of nature consciousness waiting to happen. So I believe I had 7 minutes, and that's probably it. So I'll just end by saying, what are we here for? If you incarnated right now, whether you think it was a choice or not, you're here for the greatest turning this species is ever going to have, probably. Either for profound waking up or the deepest level of regret we could possibly imagine when we say, sorry, guys, to our children, go face a child. Say, sorry, I just couldn't be bothered to try. I didn't know who I actually was. I threw in the towel when it all looked too difficult. Or you just go, hell yes, bring it on. Here we are. This is what I've created for myself. This is what I want. I want to wake up. I want to know who I am. I want to know what's possible. I want to know what everybody is capable of through radical shared responsibility and humility before the magnificence of what a human being is, which we can discover if we're willing to drop what we've been taught we are, because it's nothing to do with what a human being actually is. This is not us. And there we have it. Mwah!
I love that woman. She is so in connection to, it's like God coming through Claire Dubois. You know, it's life coming through Claire Dubois. She is such a powerful, powerful speaker. So while she was chatting, or while she was presenting this beautiful wisdom, I did go through the chat box and really enjoyed reading what everybody wrote. So helpful to get your feedback, and I'm really glad to see how many of you would still come on Saturday night, even if it's a replay, or Scott doing what I'm doing right now, which is showing some favorite segments. And I also really noted how many of you love magic and magicians and Paul Draper and Sean Jay. So duly noted. So when I'm showing segments, I'll make sure that we include some of the wonderful magic that Paul and Sean have provided us. And they're great. I love those guys. And all the magicians that have been on the show. You know, there's a whole evolution that's taken place, obviously. You know, Saturday Night Live started, we thought we were just going to do it for a few weeks, and then it turned into a few months, and here we are 2.5 years later in different evolutions. And one of the things that happens is, as I get to know all of you, as I get to know Kristin Hoffmann or Claire Dubois, you know, we develop friendships, we develop relationships. And there was somebody who had been watching the show faithfully, like many of you have said, I've been with you since the beginning, which I love reading that. And I also appreciate all of you who are watching for the first time tonight. But Omashar was one of the people that were watching week after week. And he said, well, you know, I'm a musician, and maybe you might want to show one of my videos sometime, or maybe I could play. So I went to his YouTube channel and I watched one of his videos. Wow, this guy's good. And so I invited him to play, and he started coming every week and being on every show. And now he's become our house musician. And the only reason he's not here tonight is because the plan had been for me to be in Ashland, Oregon for the Relax Expansion Festival. And of course, many of you were here a few weeks ago when we had artists from Relaxpansion with us. And we spent a whole weekend dedicated to promoting the Relaxpansion Festival. Unfortunately, when I fell ill, I just realized there was no way I could go to Ashland. I needed to stay here, which is good because I'm able to be here and do Awakening World from here this weekend with my loyal, faithful dog, Jasmine Bear, who's been loving me up. Omashar, meanwhile, left from Colorado, bought tickets to come to Relaxpansion to meet me there. So he's there, I'm not. But he's been wonderful. He's been sending me videos of what's happening there. So I'm experiencing it vicariously through Omashar. And I'm going to take a minute for us now to experience Omashar vicariously by watching one of his videos. And this is the very first video that I saw when I went to his YouTube channel. And again, you can get all of his videos by going to YouTube and just put in Omashar Music. But here we go. I love this video. It's called Kingdom of Gold. So thank you, beloved brother Omashar, and of course he'll be back on with us as we continue with whatever we're doing. And who knows, maybe it'll be Omashar and I watching videos together. While I was playing, I went into my hard drive on this computer, and I didn't have any segments of Magic by Paul Draper or Sean Jay, but I was able to find a wonderful segment of Magic with one of the very first magicians we ever had on the show, Heather Rogers. So in honor of you saying that you love Magic, I'm going to give you a wonderful little clip of Magic from Heather Rogers.
Heather Rogers.
Good evening and blessings. We are living in truly miraculous times. When we remember that we are real magic, we realize that anything can happen. If you could look into this crystal ball and see your best possible future, what would that look like? Look now and dare to imagine where you are, who you're with, what you are co-creating, and all the ripple of good that is coming out from that. Tonight, I invite you beyond the new normal into the new extraordinary. And the way to get there is to be right here, right now. Let truth reign supreme. And behold the staggering miracle of you. Each of your 76 trillion cells is a quantum fusion factory, sourcing enough power to ignite a big bang. That's you. So let the little you ride out the sensation of how painfully exquisite you are, how unsettlingly soft you are, and how heart-achingly connected you are. Let yourself bear the burn of your own radiance, and you will find that you say yes to everything. And then the miracles will happen. Try it out. Now, I would like to, well, I have some good news and some bad news. Let's start with the bad news, and that is you have been framed. Yes, you have been saddled with a little part that holds the pain and the patterning of the past. This part is always tearing away at your ability to thrive and be free. This part is deeply unfulfilled and will always be with you. It's hounding you with its incessant axe to grind. This part's job is to tear you down and to give you no peace. Now, the good news, and that is that part is not you. At any moment, you can step out of the little part and into pure, expansive freedom. Why does this elude so many people? Because it's too simple. Any moment you get fully present, you can remember that you were always whole and complete. You are all things and no thing, hence truly free. So now along those lines, I would like to ask you a question. What size are you? If we're all made of energy and energy is expansive and endless, you're no size or all size. How freeing it is to know that the essence that pours through this mortal frame cannot be touched by circumstance and never has been. We have the power to burn off what no longer serves us. If you would like to enter the new extraordinary, I'm going to ask you to lift up your hand like this. Lift up your hand and go ahead and grind the past into dust. Fuse your brain and flush it with white light. And as you do, see all mind matters distinguishing into a pure puff of smoke. Very good. That's a nice practice and good, strong alchemy. Now, we're all ready to let some stuff go now. It's time. And I want you to think about that one thing that has plagued you your whole life. Some people, it's the idea of mortality. For some, it's feeling safe. Others, being wanted, being successful, getting healthy. Think of yours. The time has come to end that pattern. If it is your will, right now, fuse this handkerchief with every bit of baggage and matrix and frequency from all time. Charge it now. And I'd like you to repeat this. Say, I release you and it is done. Everybody go ahead. I release you and it is done. And so it is. Before I go, I would like to offer one last humble gift. And that is the endless spark that is in you. If there was ever a time to ignite your greatest spark, it is right now. So I'm going to ask one more thing. I'm going to ask you to bring your hands to your heart, please. I'm going to ask you to grab that spark, find it, hold that spark, and ignite it. May you ever be ignited and delighted. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. That's really, really fun. Isn't magic just amazing? It brings out the little kid in me. And I just really appreciate your magic. It's really wonderful, Heather. And thank you for your beautiful spirit. Thank you. And may we all let go that easily of those things we're ready to let go of. It's true. I just always love magic statements. I become like a little boy. I go from being Scott, the host and the producer, to a 10-year-old child going, how did she do that? Like, how did she do that with the newspaper? I was really watching it because I know she's going to bring it back to whole. We watched her tear it. We watched her struggling to tear it. And then she brings it back whole. I don't know. It's magic. It's absolute magic. You know, one of the great things about our magicians is that they didn't just do magic, but then they wove it into the theme of the awakening world. They wove it into the theme of raising consciousness, into the themes of the Global Peace Tribe. And that was really special. That was really beautiful. So thank you, everybody. See, you brought up magic and poof, we're able to bring up magic. And really, we're about to close, but I want to say that everything you've been putting into the chat box has been really super, super helpful. And it's inspiring. And thank you. I see many of you saying taking care of your health. And I didn't go to Relaxpansion. That was a big step. And I am pretty much just hanging out and resting and living on chicken soup and really healthy smoothies. So I'm going across the street to the park. And I'm in a really great spot. I've got a house all to myself that I'm house sitting. And there's a park across the street. And after the show is over in whatever, 10, 15 minutes, I'm going to go take my dog, who's been very faithful. Thank God for Jasmine Bear. She's right here. She's very eager to go for her evening WALK. I can't say the word because she knows that word. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I am going to close by bringing Kristin Hoffmann back up one last time. And this is the Salome that she spontaneously created as part of our wonderful, wonderful concert. And thank you. I love you all so very, very much. Your comments are really meaning the world to me. And how blessed we all are to gather on Saturday nights or on Friday nights or on Sunday mornings and to commune together. And I've loved it. I've loved doing these shows. I've loved hosting and bringing people and meeting all of you and playing a role in building this tribe. So thank you very, very much. And what a wonderful way to close this out. And I want to bring Debbie on one last time. Thank you, Debbie, for all that you've done to help make this season go smoothly. Really, really grateful for it. So thank you, Debbie Johnston. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Let's let Kristin Hoffmann bring us to bed.
sacred fire, wrap your arms around the world tonight. Oh, sacred fire, remind us of our eternal light. Ooh.
Hmm. There it is. May whatever sacred fire any of us might be in, whatever challenges we are facing personally, and that humanity is facing as a species, may we embrace this sacred fire, find the love, find each other, and make our way through together. We are the Global Peace Tribe. We are the imaginal cells of the new emerging paradigm, the new emerging butterfly growing out of the dying caterpillar, the old paradigm. I'm so honored to share this journey with each and every one of you. Your comments have meant so much to me tonight. I've done over 400 shows since the pandemic. And truly, honestly, tonight has been one of my absolute favorite shows. I didn't even know if I was going to do a show this weekend because I was pretty sick, and I felt a little bit better. And then at the last minute, I invited Jon and Becky and Ben, and they popped on and pulled together some segments, and that's been wonderful. But all of your comments, all of what you've shared, has really made this one of my all-time favorite Saturday nights. So thank you, everybody. Hopefully I'll see some of you tomorrow morning for the Sacred Sunday show, 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern. And thank you very much. Have a beautiful evening. God's blessings and good night.